I think it was her sheer force of personality. Plus, she was a very motherly person. I mean, she took care of people. She told them what to do. She told them, you know, how to run their lives. She told them what was needed. She enveloped them.
The circle of friends and associates who congregated in Goldman's apartment would soon be joined by Alexander Berkman. In May 1906, Berkman walked out of the Allegheny County Workhouse. For the first time in 14 years, he was a free man.
When Berkman comes out of prison, finally, he's much more oriented toward trying to achieve anarchism through the labor movement, which he sees great possibilities in. Goldman's orientation is much more for a kind of movement that cuts across class lines, that attracts the middle classes to anarchism.
Her mind has matured, but her wider interests antagonize my old revolutionary traditions. I sense a foreign element in this circle she has gathered about her, and feel myself a stranger among them.
I was a woman of 37. I no longer fitted into the old mold, as he had expected me to. Sasha felt it almost immediately.
And that his release was such a relief in some ways and so much less than what she had hoped it would be. Always a sense in it that she loved him more than he loved her. I don't know if that's fair, but that she carried a torch in a certain sense all the way through, that he mattered to her in a certain way as a man and as a body, that she didn't necessarily matter to him.
Berkman and Goldman briefly attempted to resume their romance, but it was not to be. He assumed day-to-day management of Mother Earth. She returned to the lecture circuit. In the spring of 1908, now 40 years old, Goldman met someone else, a flamboyant young doctor, 10 years younger than herself. A man of considerable life experience, he was a budding social reformer, a whorehouse physician, and a former hobo.
Ben Reitman was a doctor and a hobo. She fell in love with him almost instantly, and it was really a, great magnetic flash between them.
It was another one of those Goldman flashes, like coming to New York and finding what she wanted the very first day. It was apparently love at first sight, or certainly alchemy at first sight.
There is something very American about Reitman because he was filled with a kind of raw energy. He didn't give a damn about what people thought, and he was a great manager. So there was a great deal of charm to this creature who was also weak and insecure and the mama's boy, all the flaws that she recognized as being so truly awful, and yet she loved him so.
I dreamed that Ben was bending over me, his face close to mine, his hands on my chest. Flames were shooting from his fingertips and slowly enveloping my body. I made no attempt to escape them. I strained towards them, craving to be consumed by their fire.
He was quite a liability. He was compulsively unfaithful to her. He ran around with other women. He had humiliated her, he embarrassed her. I think that she had a very idealistic view of how people should act, and then her feelings didn't always go along with her theories. And one of the things that's appealing about her is that she didn't put theories over life, really. She tried to live up to her ideal, but often found that she couldn't do that and was very honest about it.
It was hard to reconcile this particular passage with her stated ideology about free love and the right of everyone to move as they please. And I think she tried to feel no jealousy, and she tried to think of Rietman as a creature apart, and tried to think of him as someone who was hers when they were together on the road. At the same time, she fell prey to the most sentimental, romantic claptrap, same stuff that she denounced in her talks.
For almost a decade, Goldman and Reitman spent nearly half of every year on the road, maintaining a relentless schedule of radical agitation from coast to coast. In one 6-month period, she delivered 120 lectures before 40,000 people in 37 cities. With Reitman as her manager, she became one of the most sought-after public speakers in America. Her messages reached beyond the faithful, attracting middle and upper-class audiences. Her lectures also drew the attention of police detectives.
There's a kind of aura around her. There's a kind of expectation that something will happen when she comes to town. Wonderful things, hilarious things, horrific things.
I think Emma Goldman frightened, or at the very least puzzled, a lot of people, because first of all, she was a powerful woman, and a powerfully built woman, especially as she got older. She put on considerable weight. I mean, she appeared like a tower of concrete up on the platform.
She has something in common, I think, with American tent preachers, with great conmen and hucksters of the 19th century who were able to sell snake oil to an audience by bringing them to a frenzy.
Being in the public sphere is action, is a deed, is a way to transform people, to make them change their lives, change their opinions.
She lectured on anarchism to Congregationalists in Cleveland, on violence to single taxers in Houston, and about sex to lumberjacks in Eureka.
Society considers the sex experiences of a man as attributes of his general development, while similar experiences in the life of a woman are looked upon as a terrible calamity. I intend to speak in Philadelphia. I intend to insist on my right of free speech. If the police stop me, then it is up to them to explain why. As long as I live, I must be a crusader. What I think, what I feel, I must speak. Not for 100, not for 500 years will the principles of anarchy triumph. But what has that to do with it?
She must have tapped into something, some stream running through American society at that time, because she gained converts, if not to anarchism, then to her ideas, especially about free speech, from all classes and from all areas of the country.
Goldman's celebrity status didn't wash with everyone. Her closest comrades criticized her new circle of friends. One worried the movement was becoming too middle class. Instead of organizing the unemployed, he argued, we rent comfortable halls and charge 10 cents admission.